Hello everyone. Sorry we're 2 minutes late. We
Hello.
were we were looking for better angles because you need good angles. So this is Binati Sheth here, and we have this side we have. Come on,
Sudeshna.
introduce yourself. Yes, good. So before we go into this, kind of tell us what you do, Sudeshna, so people have some context.
So, I am a writer. I specialize in website copy and information architecture. Other than that, I also do sales copies and video scripts.
I see. And the Game of Thrones memes suddenly come to my mind where people introduce Daenerys and the people from the north are like, this is king of the north. So my introduction is I write. बस हो गया इतना ही आता है that's all I do. So yeah,
Yes, yes, that happens quite a lot actually. And that generally happens when you are in awkward social situations. I write.
yes.
What do you write? Explain yourself. So,
Like I am not in the
yeah.
mental state to answer this extremely loaded question, which is going to actually take 3 hours to answer. So I will just give
Yeah.
you the TLDR, which is मैं writer है हो गया.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's just directly go into what we plan to talk about, which is what is the point? Why do we actually write? Why do we become writers? So do you want to get the ball rolling?
I think personally there are two types of writers. One who are primarily focused on letting their emotions and that energy out. And
I
then
see.
there are the second kind who want effortless money, who do not want
Yeah.
to, you know, put in the real effort. Uh, Put in the real effort as in read. Try to find different ways of analyzing the storytelling aspects. And when that doesn't happen, they come to the former type to get their shit done. And probably that's the biggest reason we are having this live in the first place. We have all cleaned up someone's mess.
Yes, exactly. Like that is it. We are so tired of cleaning up other people's messes. We were like, oh my God, someone has to do something because the amount of time clients approach me more because we are on LinkedIn. Let's just talk about via LinkedIn. They approach us by saying, I got so and so to do my copy
Hmm.
and it's not working. Help us fix it, and because they have invested money in that person, they want it fixed, not written from scratch,
Properly.
which is, oh my god, which is such a struggle on so many levels. So it was decided we're going to start with the most basic question, which a lot of people unfortunately don't really answer, which is why do you write? Why
Yeah.
exactly is it that you got into writing?
Yeah. And when that doesn't happen, you don't have the intrinsic motivation. At some point, you'll get bored. Are leads nahi aa rahe? Are this is not happening for me. That is not happening for me. I'm not getting quality opportunities where I can shine. And
Hmm.
when you start getting into that zone, you start attracting more, people who are like into this per word, payment model. They don't look at the critical aspects that you capitalize on. And that's the reason we are suffering so much, and the creative industry is suffering so much.
I mean, I couldn't disagree even if I want to, because every time, again, I literally have to have two different payment models, which is the actual kind that I charge on the likes of Fiverr and such, and the kind that I have to respond to in emails or via direct messaging and stuff like that, where the per word model works because apparently that's the norm. I've had
Yeah.
so many people tell me everyone else is charging per word, so you have to give me per word rate as well. And
Yes.
it's unfortunate, but I have given in. I have caved, even if I
Hmm.
didn't want to. I did. I
Hmm.
caved because at the end of the day, you end up losing leads because of this behavior, right?
Yes.
And you make the difficult choice, which is, should I have a job or should I compromise on my professional integrity? and
Yeah.
unfortunately the integrity is what gets compromised on the spot.
Yes.
So
Yes. And
I mean,
I have had people tell me like, why do you want to charge per hour for copy editing and proofreading tasks? And I go like, dude, you guys don't understand the difference between copy editing and proofreading. If I end up paraphrasing every damn sentence, I'm going to be at it way longer than anything. So if your document is perfect, this is going to take me like half an hour, and pay me for half an hour. That's okay. But if you want everything to be so if you that takes time, and time is something that we don't have a lot of, right? So
exactly, because half of the time writing is not to brag, but like, see, this is the amount. I'm still figuring out camera angles. This is the amount of research that has gone into one piece that I've been
hmm,
working on for like, I think, 3 weeks, and uh, to explain this to people in context, which is creating original content, is not a joke. You can't just take 3 articles, chipkao
hmm,
it, rewrite it, and make a fourth article and say this is original content. Like, no, you just did English rewriting. And when
hmm,
rewriting is packaged as writing, that is when, the waters get
exactly.
muddied.
Yes. And a lot of people don't understand that plagiarism is of again two types. One is where you are taking every damn piece of information that is out there, putting it together, and writing it in your own words to avoid getting caught by copyscape. And then there is something called as conceptual plagiarism, like someone has already come up with a goddamn concept. You're taking that concept, adapting it to your needs, and you're just, adding a different call to action. So
Exactly.
essentially they are just paying for that goddamn call to action. They are not paying for anything else. So
Yeah.
that's something that's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
And also this has very big SEO prominence, as in if you look at the link building strategies, they Google prefers original content. So if you have posted
Right.
something original, you'll someone will cross reference it to you, that this
and
person.
and your work would be ageless. You don't have to
Yeah.
go back and update thousands of times every time
Hmm.
Google does an algorithm update, right?
Yeah, and
So
I think I told you about the featured snippets.
you did. Yeah. I
Yes.
mean, mention that to the people who are listening, because I've
So
seen
when
comments to everyone, and I hope I'm not feeble anymore in terms of my voice. And someone has
I
said,
can't
why
see
do we
any
write?
comment.
I
Wow.
can, because I have the broadcast scene. Someone
Hmm.
has mentioned, why do we write? And they have answered, nowadays we don't want to remember, which is, which is a great
Hmm.
Diogenes kind of a statement, right? Which is, we write
Yeah.
because we don't want to remember. Like, whoever said that,
Hmm.
clicks and claps to you, because that was amazing. That's why we write. We
Yeah.
want there to be a trace
Hmm.
of our brand, of our thoughts, or
Hmm.
whatever it is. So that is a great point. So rather than going into SEO and
Hmm.
all of that, I think what we should do is we should actually go into why do we write. So
Definitely. Hmm.
yeah, why do
Yeah.
you write, Sudeshna? Let people know why you write, because you have done a career transition yourself.
I saw my mental health degrade. I didn't write for like 2.5 years. I didn't write for myself per se. And the job left little scope for originality, for that creative energy to be let out. And I just realized that I cannot do this when I turn 50, 60, even 40. I wouldn't be able to do this without, getting worked up. So why bother? Exit, you have ample amount of experience, whatever you needed from the industry, and that's about it. And we all probably know the reality of pharmaceutical industry altogether, so there's no real
Yeah.
question about the ethics there, because compromise
Yeah.
there, it's just on a different level.
I know, right? It's a rabbit hole that we will go under
Mm.
at some point in the future once we have, specific communities where we find writers and people who are interested in knowing about the nuances of these different industries. Because I personally also write in healthcare, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, come back to writing. Why was writing such an amazing thing for your mental health?
Because I am not a big talker. I don't talk or socialize as much. The only way I could talk to myself was with words, and that's what I did.
No. Okay, that sounds amazing, and that sounds like stuff that a lot of writers would want to be want to be in the place, in terms of the headspace. So that's
Yes.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay,
Why do you write?
so what else? What else would you like to tell us before I go into my blah blah? Because I have notes.
I have notes as well, but I think I would probably start with places where, where there is a lot of tautology that is going on. First
Hmm.
things first, be authentic. If you have to try to be authentic, are you even being authentic in the first place?
I mean, exactly. It's like it's so immature that is being handed out as advice. Ki be
Mhm.
yourself. Why you are over 20 years old? This is something you are supposed to know by default. It is not something
Yes.
someone who claims to be, guru or consultant or whatever has to tell
It's
you to
like
do.
sometimes finding writing advice on internet feels like I'm sitting at Sadhguru ka pravachan. I mean, Osho is great, but it feels like Sadhguru ka pravachan in the sense that there's the same thing that is repeated time and again. And the same
Yes.
thing that is getting repeated time and again comes with a load of crap that people make up.
Yeah,
And
a
when
load of
people,
crap that is good in terms of semantics and quotes.
yes, but when you try to elaborate on those
It
um,
breaks and it
statements,
shatters in a second.
it's like a classic case of Occam's razor, according to me.
Exactly. Yes, yes, it is. I mean, it has to be right. And before you go into what Occam's
Mm.
razor is and all that, we have a great comment, which is we also write to get out of our frustration, sadness, problem, what we face by the society, and when we end up with some write up, we feel pretty good, which is a fabulous
Yes.
point,
Yeah.
and that is what is referred to as historical impulse by George Orwell, right?
Mhm.
So that is when you seek truth
Yeah.
with yourself, with society, etc.,
Mm.
etc. So yeah, whoever made that comment claps to you and clicks to you. Thank you so
Yes.
much for contributing. Go back to Occam's razor.
So essentially, the rule says that everything can have the simplest explanation. And because you are simplifying something that is really, really vast, for example, why does the universe exist? Someone can come up with a simple example like the Big Bang Theory, but there's more to it, of course.
Of
And
course.
when you just pinpoint it to just one cause, one phenomenon, you're ignoring the rest of the world, the rest of the topics that come with it. And when you do that, you are just creating this misleading illusion for the rest of the world.
You're contributing to the problem rather than helping answer a query
Yes.
or
And that is
helping
not
provide a
the truest
solution.
reflection.
Yeah, yeah, I could not agree more with what you
Like,
said. And
look
I mean,
at,
I know you hate when I say that, which is I agree or stuff like that, but you say some stuff that makes a lot of sense. So people are bound to agree with it.
and another thing, if you want to look at the simplest example of this oversimplification, what you can look at is WebMD or Medscape. They
Okay.
mention, they have categorized every disorder that exists out there. They have created a definition, they have created a cause, they have created a treatment field, and they have, provided generic names of the medications. Now, anyone and everyone has access to the internet. So if someone doesn't understand that, for example, you're not supposed to, like, for example, Meftal Plus, this is a medication that women take for their periods. A lot of them do not understand that if you have blood pressure, you're not supposed to take NSAIDs, which is the class of the medication in the first place. This is a dire example, but when you look at more consequences, more deeper consequences, you can look at bad journalism, where, the modern examples of um, citizen journalism, I believe they also, create a lot of this there's this,
Listicle based journalism,
it's,
essentially,
it's, it's
where
just, yeah, and it just creates such a bad impression. I found someone quoting mental health issues and everything, and they had mentioned the prescription medications, and along with it they had added reliable source of information as Wikipedia. And we are not talking about some random publication that very few people read. I'm talking about a major brand out there when it comes down to news and reporting real life events. So when that happens, you are just encouraging this oversimplification factor time and again.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
it's upsetting because I have had inquiries like this, which is
Hmm.
where they want me to link to very suspect sources because that is the thing that creates more links. And I'm like, that is precisely why my email to clients is, it could be classified as rude, as I've mentioned many times, because I mentioned this is stuff I don't do, because the
Hmm.
kind of things that we write about, for me,
Hmm.
that is something that impacts people's health and people's perception of uh, certain geopolitical conflicts. If I
Yes.
purposefully mislead people, that
Hmm.
is that's a very calculated decision taken in the guise of making money. And I
Hmm.
think that is not why we should write. That is not why anybody should write. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. And that's also, falls under the alleys of, what are your ethics. And a lot of people don't understand that there are two different kinds of ethics. One is professional ethics, the second is personal ethics. What are you okay with people doing but you wouldn't do? What would you do is personal ethics. What you wouldn't recommend but you wouldn't object to people doing either is your professional ethic. So, there's a very fine difference between the two, and a lot of people find it difficult to, sort of understand that. And when they don't understand that, that's where the problem it's just beginning, right? It's the beginning of the end.
Yeah, yeah, it's the beginning of the end. And I mean, maybe I'm being an optimist, but have you read about the French Revolution?
I wasn't that much into history, so I don't
Okay,
know
okay.
that much
So
about
this would
French
be an
Revolution.
obscure reference, and like I'll talk about it. But
Mhm.
like there was a period during the French Revolution that was referred to as Enlightenment, right? Where people believed that we could change everything about society: who controls it, religion, politics, ethos,
Mhm.
uh, everything. Uh, just on the basis of insert whatever person you were following at that point in time. And I think to a large
Mhm.
extent, while there's not a lot of violence, physical violence, and stuff like that happening in real life, online, we are seeing a version of that happen, right? Where
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
are people are actively engaging positively, negatively, neutrally, whatever it is. A sort of enlightenment period has begun, and I think at the end of this, At the end of
Mm,
this, what we're going to see is probably a decentralized platform of sorts, where
mm,
proper information, accurate information,
mm,
or rather the distinction between opinions and facts, all of that is done properly. And
mm,
clicks, ad
mm,
sales,
mm.
all that becomes slightly less relevant than it is at this point in time.
I mean, all the platforms are doing essentially the same thing. They are looking forward to monetize the platform and
Mhm.
monetize the time that people spend on their platform.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
going to happen at some point anyway. It began with Facebook. We are in the era of LinkedIn, where LinkedIn is just telling us to buy premium left and right, and
Yeah.
it's going to take us to this saturation point from where ads won't be just as relevant.
Yeah. So we have a few
A
comments
very
that have come in. Apologies for
oh,
interrupting you. They make a fuss without a point, and people buy it somehow. I mean, yes, Miss Sen, you are absolutely right. Uh, I can finally see the names, so that's great. Okay, can
yeah.
you hear me now? Because I don't really know why. I did a test run and the audio seemed perfect. I mean, apologies for everyone who can't hear me clearly. To Uma Garg, who mentions Renaissance, exactly. Yes, I was talking about the Renaissance. It came in after all
Hmm,
that uh, fuss that people
hmm,
created and people successfully created. So, I mean, we could either turn into like a society that, kind of
hmm,
monitors everything and bans everything, cancel culture, or we could become
hmm,
a society which is open to knowledge, open to everything, to be honest. So
yeah.
it's like a fork in the road, so to speak. You can go either, you can go udhar, up to where
Or you can go
the
see the
jungle or you can go Sida. Sida is always there. Sida is ever present. Then we have Anna Maria with it all comes in waves. It is a cycle. It is like a revolution coming every now and then after things get tough. We
hmm,
are the love level revolutionaries. I mean, yes, Anna, you are absolutely right. It is a cycle, and I don't recall the name, but it was Mark something. This is a conversation I had with someone on LinkedIn itself, and he
hmm,
told me that political spectrum is round. And I was like, dude, seriously, no, it's a line. And then he
hmm.
explained to me how literally every process we see in history, politics, and everything else, it kind of goes around this chakradi circle of life. If you want, Disney
Wow.
don't sue us. And literally, if you
I would need
objectively
to
sit
learn
down,
about that really, really soon.
if you sit
Binati,
down and think
your
about it,
video is freezing and your audio is. Binati,
okay, can you
can
can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me now? I can hear you.
I can hear you, but your video is frozen.
Oh, what about now? Let
Yes,
me.
much better.
Okay, good. I mean, potato net. It rains outside, and I don't know what happens to the Wi-Fi. Like engineering point of view, rain and signals don't really have much in common or don't really have a lot to do with it. Did you just take a screenshot?
Yes. Your
I thought
screen is completely frozen right now.
okay,
And
okay,
I
hold
had
on, hold
to
on.
take a memento away from the
Hold
situation.
on, hold
So
on.
I had to do it. Sorry.
Arey, that's okay. Uh,
But I can't
what?
really see you anymore. Your screen is still stuck.
Okay, hold on, hold on. What about now? Am I back?
Nope.
Okay,
I can
fine.
still see you frozen on my screen.
I don't have a show-stopping face, so as long as you could hear me, I think we'll be good to go. Because going, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Would be very detrimental to the discussion that we're trying to have at this point in time. Because uh, on
Your
my
voice is
LinkedIn,
breaking.
on my LinkedIn, I can see and hear me. I don't know what's happening.
There's something wrong with StreamYard, I guess.
I don't think so. Let's.
Yeah, you're still frozen on my screen and your voice goes in and off sometimes. But anywho, we digress. And
Yeah. See,
have
guys,
you
as
noticed
long as
this
as long as
one
you can
thing?
hear me, as long as you can hear me, I think we'll be good to go. I apologize for my face being out of the thing. I checked. See, for me, the video is visible. Even on LinkedIn app, it's
Oh,
showing that my face is moving, which is weird. But yeah, if you can hear me, that's all right. So go ahead. What were
oh,
you
it
saying?
seems like I have some. It seems like there's some video issue. There's some network issue with me. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So,
Okay, but so
anywho, I
somebody
have to
else,
ask you this.
hold on. Somebody else has mentioned this. We write to earn, number one, in relaxation and satisfaction. Number two, money. Exactly. Vikram gets it. It's about balance. You don't just go after money, or you don't just go after, you know, being a writer. Because if you go after money, you'll be a shit writer. If you go after only money, you will be a shit writer eventually. If you go after only relaxation and satisfaction, you will have no roof over your head, which is not practical. So you need to strike that balance, find the perfect sweet spot between having good ideas, good knowledge about writing, and having, you know, proper marketing abilities to sell the stuff that you write, you know.
Yes.
So go ahead, what were you saying?
And since we are talking about selling, how do you feel about the wave of content coaches and content consultations and people who are in general selling to other writers?
I mean, I have been writing professionally for 9 years. I did it for free for 4 years. So this was when I was volunteering to different platforms that I was really passionate about, and this was mostly all volunteering gigs, right? So if there's a cause that I cared about, but because I was a student who didn't have a lot of money and my parents were already paying for my education, so I was like, I have to find a way in which I could be, you know, useful just a little bit. So what I did was I worked for free for 4 years of college for a lot of these platforms and a lot of these organizations that
Mhm.
were that were supporting causes that were close to my heart. And
Mhm.
so that was 4 years of not paid but still writing experience. And professionally, in terms of getting paid as well, I've been writing for 5 years. So I have 9 years of writing experience on me in total. And I do not believe still that I could teach someone how to write because uh, I mean, how arrogant are you to think that you are going to teach someone how to write, how to think? Like, that is pure sign of ego
Mhm.
and pure sign of immaturity, actually. Where, and actually,
Yeah.
sort of selfish and greedy as well, because you see there are a lot of people in need, and instead of actually helping people out, you are using them
Mhm.
for money,
Yeah.
and it's disgusting. In my opinion,
Yeah, and that doesn't make
I
sense.
find that trend disgusting. That's the word I would use. Yeah.
I mean, great that you have figured out a way that you can make your content work. But
Hmm.
if you are really that great at making your content work, why did you suddenly feel the need to, transition to a product of sorts?
I mean, yeah, exactly. And this is like literally one of the main reasons why we started these conversations. In the first place was
Yeah.
our mutual habit of discussing some of the disturbing trends we are seeing emerge online, where writers are only writing about freelancing. Like, dude, literally the only thing you
Hmm.
write about is freelancing. Where is the other stuff? Where is the actual research stuff that you have written that shows your merit and your metal is an actual writer. Like, where is
Exactly.
the writing? You are only writing about freelancing and writing. What the hell is that? And I really I really don't get this trend in the least, because if your entire USP is uh, writing makes me buy
Hmm.
shit, I'm like, okay, everyone buys shit using their salary. Grow up and stop misleading people, by doing this kind of messaging. But unfortunately, people don't see through it, and that is why the trend multiplies, because it gets views, it gets engagement. So other newbies, the ones who are just
Hmm.
entering, they see, okay, if I want to get popular, this is something I'll have to do, even if I hate it.
Hmm.
And so they do it, and they
Yeah.
unconsciously feed into the machine.
Yeah, and
So,
this.
okay, the reason I had that reaction was someone had an amazing comment, which is, I write because it's my work. I mean, yes, thank you for acknowledging that it's your work and not being a poetic dum dum who goes, writing gives me purpose. Writing gives, okay, we get it. Everyone feels passion to some extent about their profession. Like, don't turn your profession into this sacrifice that you have committed for society. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I can't really hear you at all. Your voice is going a
Oh,
little. It's a little unclear.
I mean, am I audible to the audience? Can we get a yes or a
Hold on,
no?
let me try out something different
And Uma
because.
has sort of an interesting point to make, because this is it, right? This is a bitter pill to swallow that she has mentioned, which is, but people don't trust you as long as you help them for free. Most of them believe that paid courses are good. To that, I say, Uma, you're not entirely wrong, in the sense that, wrong is the wrong word on my part to use. But I'm not talking about paid courses per se. What I'm talking about is uh, people who are guiding others into entering the writing industry without actually having any merits or metal in the writing industry, right? Okay, so Sudeshna, I think the audible issue is with you on the network end, and you are frozen. So, uh, potato net has happened on Sudeshna's end. But does anyone in the audience have questions for me? She'll be back. She has potato net issues all the time. We are friends in real life as well. Even if we haven't met in person, we became friends via LinkedIn and bonded over. Hold on, I'll add her to the stream. Just a second. Okay, she's back.
Okay, I'm back. Thank God. So yeah, you were saying something about content coaches and content consultations that these people are selling.
Yeah, yeah. So Uma had a great point, which is people don't trust you as long as you give them advice for free, and people trust paid courses more. So what do you have to say about that? I think she has an excellent point to make, which
Yes.
is,
Hmm.
कोई free में advice नहीं देता. Stephen King also wrote a book. So did
Yeah.
Orwell. So did almost every great writer that we have a record of. They wrote a book about how they write instead of just shelling out writing advice for
Yes.
free.
And then in that particular sense of things, you have to look at the amount of experience they have had.
Hmm.
How long have they published books? What are their credentials? And you
Right.
have to see where they come from, and the points, the nature of the points they make as well are
Mhm.
pretty damn good. I mean, the all of the information that you get in on old school books,
Yeah.
they are mostly style based advice. Style based advice is something that you can give out of experience,
Yeah. Exactly.
but you cannot just go like choose active voice over passive voice because it
Oh my
uses
God.
readability.
Yes. This advice needs to just die, because active voice, using short, simple sentences in active voice, is something that Grammarly and Hemingway has brought into play. and it is something that is not at all relevant to writing, because you keep saying I'm a dog, I'm a cat, I'm a mat, I'm a hat with every single sentence. It seems like you are a little kid writing writing an English essay on cow. A cow has two eyes. A cow has four legs. A cow eats grass. Like, no, you are supposed to frame your sentences as a writer and not as a school kid. It's not about active voice or passive voice. It's about sentences structure.
It's also about another thing. It's called, the concept is readability. But how many people know that what is readability? How many algorithms exist? And if it's an algorithm, what are the components that determine that score? Grammarly,
Exactly.
Yoast SEO, then Hemingway, all of them use a combination of 2 to 3 different algorithms in the first place. So if you do not have complete knowledge, either just scrap it or just keep following it blindly and encouraging misconceptions.
Okay,
Hmm.
Miss Sen, and I'm calling you Miss Sen because I don't know how to pronounce your first name. I
It's
apologize.
called chunking.
Okay, okay, because I know there's accent that comes with Bengalis. Okay, Chunki, right? Okay, Chunki.
Chunky.
The
It's
Chunki.
cha. It's
Okay,
cha, not cha.
see, I'm Gujarati. हमें लोग को छ बोलिए. So that is why I was not pronouncing her name. Anyway, so I'll call her Miss Sen, and I'll learn her name properly when I actually call her. But she says when we became writers, we
Hmm.
never ever attended a course in writing. Grammarly has taken away the ability to comprehend grammar, and like she's right, people don't actually read through their article. When I say people, I mean the offensive writers, not
Yeah.
everybody, but the writers that we personally despise. They don't
Yeah.
read through the whole thing, and the thing breaks. You can see the lack of transition through the thing,
Yes.
because they went into an app, inserted it, applied the suggestions given by the app, which is not
Mhm.
checking flow or anything else. It is just checking grammar,
Yes, and
and then
also
that's
there
it.
is one other concept. This readability algorithm itself, it was an old, it was during the times of newspapers and hefty textbooks that had like 70, 80 different, 70, 80 lines in one paragraph. There it was needed.
Okay, I'm sorry. Elsa is asking you to pronounce her name.
Anisha,
You got it
I
wrong.
did it. I did it. I did it. No, don't take away my cuddle time with Filu. Please no.
Okay, anyway, let's come back on point. There's somebody else with a question this time, which is, should we rely on paid grammar tools? If no, what is the need of these tools? What do you think?
These are fairly, good tools to
Pro writing aid.
understand. Pro writing aid, I found it decent, better
Yeah,
than Grammarly,
exactly.
uh, a lot better than Grammarly, but I would have loved to use at least 1,000 words ka transition, at least, in the free version. Then I would have been at a better stage to judge the, application. But other than that, I have no complaints with Pro Writing Aid.
Yeah, the same, which is 500 words is too little. We need
Yes.
more to do a test run to see whether
Yeah.
the app works or not.
So it
So
can
to
be.
answer the question, we think that paid grammar tools are good, but only paid grammar tools are not good. And make that point that you told me about grammar practice, please, now, Sudeshna.
Yes. So we have both been writing since the last 10 years approximately, on some level or the other, and we still make it a point to practice grammar exercises all those comprehension, section C, section D, section B, section A, whatever you used to call it. I mean, I studied in CBSE, and that's how we refer to it. We still do those exercises.
Yeah,
Section D, where
I
you.
literally have an alarm in my phone which
Hmm,
reminds me that this is grammar practice time. And once the reminder happens, I open English Hilfin and I go and
hmm.
do some grammar exercises because
Yes.
I still have the problem of split infinitive. It just happens by mistake. And if
Hmm,
I don't practice, I will never be able to fix that mistake on my own. In the app will catch the mistake to prevent an embarrassment with the client. But
hmm.
our aim as writers is to reach that point where grammar checker goes zero errors. So,
Yes. That's the real goal, right? Zero. Maybe if you are naming some theorem, some person, and it's important. I mean, if you are not aiming to better yourself, then what is new for you? What is new
yeah,
for you?
what is new for you? Exactly, exactly.
And as it is, being a freelance writer itself, needs very little effort. If you ask me today, like, why is the content industry saturated? The first and foremost, reason it is saturated, it's because it's so simple to just pick up a laptop, have an active internet connection, and just write.
Hmm.
You can write tutty stuff, but you
Yeah,
can still write.
yeah,
And it's one of the many things that is, that is the sad reality that we cannot change. Matlab, we cannot go back and say that you have to change the criteria, that you need to have something to become writer, you become a writer.
I see.
So that's something that you cannot absolutely avoid.
Okay, so I'm going to go into the comments again.
Mhm.
Someone has a question for us, which is okay. Dharmendra Yadav has a question for us. Sometimes
Hmm.
clients complain about writing style. He is told you don't write in Native American style. What should I do?
Help me. Okay. So you are who you are. You cannot change that. Your whole style cannot change based on the client altogether. One person he is just one person out of billions. You cannot just go around and change everything about yourself because a client does not approve of what you do. And this is where, probably the number of leads that we get also comes in. I mean, I hardly get 4 5 people who are actually invested in my work enough to just go ahead and say that I don't care about what you charge, but what are you going to do for me? Tell me that. And
Same.
that's the point that we need to, read up more about. In marketing, there are certain people. The person that you are talking about is called an unqualified lead. Not everyone who is out there who has to offer work is going to, fall in your um fall in your alley of, whatever you do, whatever you feel is the best for you. And that's where this comes in. I mean, you cannot please anyone and everyone. You're not biryani, or you're not some kofta or something. You cannot please everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, what you could do is you could, if you are targeting just American clients, because sometimes, people have aims that I'm going to only work with. So maybe that's his
Yeah.
goal and that's his aim. So what you could do is you could first of all consume a lot of content written by Native American writers. So what he mentions when he says Native American style. So there's a writer friend of mine whom you know as well, Sudeshna, Jeff,
Hmm.
right? You could
Yes.
distinctly see the way Jeff does humor and the way Mel does humor as a Brit, and we
Yes.
do humor as Indians. The style is very
Yes.
different between
Hmm. Hmm.
three very different writers with funny bones, so to
Yeah.
speak. So what you could do, Dharmendra, is you could first of all start consuming content written by Native American writers. If
Hmm.
you are specifically targeting American clientele, and then you could start kind of practicing. And before you start practicing, adjust your dictionaries, because by default dictionaries are set to English US. But
Hmm.
sometimes if you have set your laptop language to English UK or English India or something
Hmm.
like that, maybe that could create an issue. So what you could do
Yeah.
is you could set your language to English US, and you could approach some people uh, to who write Native American content to
Hmm.
kind of give you actionable feedback, critical feedback. Matlab, point
Hmm.
out what exactly is wrong and help me. And that is where LinkedIn networking could help you,
Definitely.
because literally I can ask Sudeshna to go through my article and tell me, point out the the syntax mistakes, or point
Hmm.
out where I can make this better. I could approach Rashmi and ask her to help
Hmm.
me with fiction, and she will
Yeah.
help me with fiction. I can approach Anna and ask her to inspire me creatively, and she will inspire me creatively. This is where good networking will come in play, which is have good communication skills, in the sense don't demand help, ask for help. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what you could possibly do if you are targeting American clients
And
only.
that's very important, the attitude with which you approach someone. If you
Hmm.
imagine, if someone walked up to you at the street and just goes, give me your phone, I need to make a call, how would you feel about it? Would you hand over your phone? On the other hand, maybe if they were like, they explained the situation better, they introduced themselves, and then said, I am really in need of, my phone is dead or something, I need to contact someone, they would hand it out to you very openly. And that's the difference. That's what you mean by a community. A few friends who would not judge you but would not even hold themselves back, hold the real critical feedback back.
Yeah.
And that's the essence of talking to other people, interacting with like-minded people.
Hmm. So we had, I think there was something that was something I missed in the back. Let me check, because there are a few comments here. Okay, no, we haven't missed anything. But we have Uma making a lovely comment, which is they say come out of your comfort zone, but I think it's more about your personal style. I wholeheartedly agree with this, because I keep advocating about writer's voice every time I see dipshit post about
Hmm.
get out of your comfort zone. I'm like,
Hmm.
most writers I think tend to be introverts, so they are
Yes.
not going to get out of their comfort zone.
I
That is their
let it
personality
go,
flaw.
bro. I have I've put in so much effort to create this comfort zone for myself.
Mhm.
Why would I want to get out of it in the first place?
Yeah, and one other thing is, what I think what people try to say when they say comfort zone is bubble.
Hmm.
Bubble, get out of the bubble, not comfort zone. Comfort
Yeah.
zone is content you have a lot of knowledge about, and
Hmm.
having exact idea about what your writing style is, and
Hmm.
what your unique author persona and voice
Yes.
is, right? So
Yes.
100% agree with you on this, Uma. I think I agree, Sudeshna seems to agree as well.
Definitely.
And thank you guys for the lovely comments that have been coming in. It's keeping things interesting. Otherwise, me and Sudeshna would have gone on the most random tangent that would have you kind of scratch your heads going, "ये इधर से इधर कैसे पहुंच गए?"
I
Okay,
think
we have.
most,
Go ahead, go ahead.
and that's what I think. A lot of a lot of people don't understand. Writers can go from A to Z and make you come back to B for some reason. That just happens. It just
It's
works
part of the process.
miraculously.
It's part of the process. Okay.
Yes.
Another question is, I'll get to your question soon, Dharmendra, but we have some comments from Elsa, which is, when is Sudeshna reviving her blog? When is Binati starting her work on her first novel? Answer my burning questions. So Binati cannot talk about her first novel because she has a book agent. This will be talked about in private. I cannot talk about it in public. And
Hmm.
so
Oh, you
Binati
found
will,
yourself an agent? You found
of
yourself an
course,
agent? Huh?
yes, yes,
Finally!
exactly. I mean, I had to, right? Because self-publishing is good. Self-publishing is good, but at the end of the day,
Distribution
you want,
channels.
yeah, you want some name publication to kind of endorse you, right? It
Hmm.
gives you that puffy shoulders, going, yeah, you know, I
I
got
wrote.
this.
I wrote this. I can actually pose with the paperback. So yeah.
Yeah, and now answer what she's asked you. When are you reviving your blog?
Mm, so I have a new goal after inbox zero. I have actually managed to set a new target, which is to create a website in 5 days along with the graphics by myself. So
Hmm.
that's going to start sometime next week, probably
I'm
next Wednesday, Thursday. Hmm?
And I will be with you on this because I also have to try and make my website, and I am not making my website. You know this better than
Yeah.
anyone because from day one you've been telling me, make a website, make a website, make a website, make a website
I
explicitly.
I legit felt bad when I googled Binati Seth, and the first thing that comes up is Unacademy or your Udemy gig. Unacademy, right?
Academy, yeah.
That's the first link that shows up.
I mean, I think there were more than 51,000 learners there. So I will
Yeah,
profile ऊपर चढ़ा दिया. But yeah, see, I am a ghostwriter. I am not supposed to have a footprint. So that is why you don't see a lot of my work, which is actually out there. Uh, but
this is
this
okay,
website,
but you need your place as well on the internet.
I know, going to do it next week. We're going to, kind of make websites together. Yes.
Yes,
Plan conspired over LinkedIn live of all places. Anyways, okay, Anisha, sorry, Anisha, you are shocked that 5 days next week may, but literally, I have had two books out in 2 months. Anything is possible if you are motivated enough. And in my
yes,
opinion, if you have somebody in your life who is going, a banana, a banana, a banana, and not banana the fruit, banana the Hindi word, or let us do it together, or let us collaborate, or let us do this
yeah,
same thing alongside each other. Uh,
yep,
I think helps you get the stuff done faster.
yeah, and it almost works like an accountability partner. You go like, this is done for
Hmm.
me on my list. This
Hmm.
is this has a tick mark. What about you? It's almost like sitting next to your roommate who is in the
Hmm.
legit same class, who has a paper with you tomorrow, and she says, "तेरा syllabus खत्म हो गया, मेरा syllabus खत्म हो गया. I'm doing a revision." So it has
I
somewhat similar impact.
I know, right? So yeah, it wasn't really a question, but we indirectly answered a great question, which is what
Yeah,
is the best way to improve yourself as writers? People
yeah,
collaborate with other creators, collaborate and actually talk to other creators. It doesn't have to be writers, it doesn't have to be painters, it doesn't have to be graphic designers. Collaborate with different creators, create a diverse as hell community which is going to
yes,
open your mind up to possibilities, and they are going to say something and you're going to go, oh, mere ko bhi karna hai, or I also want to do
hmm,
it. And sort of you get swept up in the
yeah,
combined energy of group projects. So
yeah,
consider collaborating because that is one of the best decisions you would make as a creator. And
definitely, definitely.
I mean, a lot of content writers and content writing people would think it's
Hmm.
a waste of time, so to speak. But
And
engagement for
also, a lot of people don't know about the website copy industry. All the big brands that have the most impressive, branding and digital presence whatsoever, They have copywriters who are working together, like the most
Yeah.
expensive minds on earth working together.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, right? And I think that's where it comes down. A lot of people focus their energy when it comes down to, acha theek hai, we have become writers, let's become entrepreneurs now. So, when you become an you want to become an entrepreneur, it doesn't necessarily mean that you just put in you just stop putting in the number of active hours. You can also focus on people skills. Like, I'm sure this has happened to you as well. You get a lead, but there you feel that there's something iffy about a particular person, and you just go like, thanks, but no thanks, I'm leaving, bye. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that's an entrepreneurial skill, who can afford to pay that much, who is actually serious about the task that they are handing out to you, who can trust you enough to give you that creative freedom. And
Yeah.
without those things, it's just empty words.
Yeah, I mean, it is just empty words without those things. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I think we've had same person give us that vibes in terms of prospective client, right? The same person who you were like, shady hai. I was like, wait, wait,
Yeah,
let's talk. And
yeah.
then I
Look,
was also like, shady hai. No point
and
investing
look,
time, energy, and resources
the
into it.
biggest red flag to me in particular what goes out is, मेरे को इतना 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 कुछ उखाड़ना है, एंड मेरे पास टाइम इतना है, एंड मेरे पास बजट इतना है. अब तुम
Yeah.
मेरे को बताओ सही प्राइस क्या होगा. You want this much value, and you are reducing the people who are actually going to put in the work this much. At
Yeah.
least be okay with investing 20 to 30% of the value that it's going to bring in. That's a norm. All of these people who are getting these investments, left and right, and there was a point in 2019 all of them were going bankrupt. Why? They invested in swanky offices, they invested
Yeah.
in the costliest coffee that money can buy. They were looking for IIT graduates to come and take over the work, and they were giving out MacBooks like this, like 10 रुपए का चिप्स का पैकेट है, ले जाओ. But when it actually came down to utilizing the funds, the actual product success, the results zero, because you
Yeah.
ate up your funds doing something that was completely wrong for you. Same with writers. A lot of people end up buying these Grammarly premiums, these lifetime licenses to certain courses. Um, I remember buying something of that sort not too long ago. But I think you purchased Masterclass as well and you regretted it
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah,
So,
I think I mentioned it today that
yeah,
what the
yeah,
heck
yeah.
did I do? It's 15,000 bucks flushed down the drain because it's very generic advice coming from very high profile people. And
It's just about personal branding and the whole vibe, right?
yeah,
We set up this stage for you, we get the camera equipment ready, we have the most professional cinematographers coming in and shooting you on video, and that's a different thing altogether. You the For the last thing that the entire thing could be scripted.
I mean the it seems very scripted. That is the one thing that irked me the most, which is when you have a brain. Like I personally, the one of the main reasons I got it was Aaron Sorkin. I'm a giant Sorkin fan.
Hmm.
Sorkin isn't really a conventional writer; he's a screenwriter, and
Hmm.
the dialogues that he has written for The West Wing or The Newsroom or Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, they
Hmm.
just make me go, oh my god, I wish we lived in Sorkin's universe because his writing is
Yeah.
very idealistic, and it's amazing. And when they had someone like Sorkin doing a master class, you don't give him a script, you let Sorkin be Sorkin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they you could see they were forcing him to adhere to a script, and at
Yeah.
some point he stopped caring. You could literally see it with the videos, and
Yeah.
that is what
That's the
broke my
thing. That's
heart.
the thing. That's the thing. When we get more, you know, the kind of work where everything is just, you know, it has a framework. You don't get to break as many creative rules,
Mhm.
and you constantly feel that, let's just get it over with. Let's
Yeah,
just get it over with. And that's the
right.
last thing that we want after, you have that freedom that I can choose what I want to do and choose what I don't want to do.
Mm.
So that's
Yes.
that's the drill. That's the entire concept.
Yeah. So, should we come to our respective notes now, or should we
Ooh.
still free wall?
How do you feel about it? Do you want to go
I
back
mean,
to the script? Because there
I
are
think,
definitely certain things that the world needs to know.
see, why do we write, right? We haven't really answered this question from a broad perspective. So that is what I meant when I said, let's, should we go through the
Yeah.
script, or should we just keep it esa? Okay, the four people who are watching, should we go based on our notes, or should we just, go randomly, go as we want? Uh, I think we should cover our notes because you had some great
Sure.
points that you wanted to make. So
Yeah.
go ahead, close.
So yeah, the first thing definitely comes down to um, how copywriting is different from writing, because generally writers who go back to copywriting instead of writing, content writing, what they end up doing is, one, कम words लिखेगा और ज्यादा पैसा कमाएगा, lump sum charging, that mentality,
Hmm.
that is the wrong way to go about it. Second, you can practice copy wherever you want, whenever you want, however you want.
Yeah.
But that does not count as your, that can be, great personal exercises, but they do not make great portfolio case studies.
Hmm.
So you cannot just go and throw it at their face and expect to get work. You can do it personally. You can
Hmm.
maybe put it something like, okay, this page from their brand deserves a revamp, and if I were to do it, how would I do it? You can probably create those branding and everything that is in place. You can leverage that and then create something, but don't go about creating the whole thing and expecting clients to just show up left and right. That does not happen. And
And I think I'll make a clarification here with regards to the thing. So like, okay, people, you need to be very careful about where you get your branding advice from,
yeah,
because branding, uh, currently we are seeing this weird trend online where personal branding is being in the name of personal branding, you're seeing a lot of things done. And what people fail to realize is what the internet is like a time capsule. It is
yeah,
going to store that aspect about you forever. So if you follow some very random but extremely clickbaity, okay, you will get the
yeah,
engagement from that advice. But then that thing will stick to your name. Anyone who looks you up, they can find that about you, right?
yeah,
And all the very good companies, I cannot take names because I've said I'm a ghostwriter, but I've worked with a few Fortune 500 companies. And when you apply for them, one of the first things they do is they go through your social media, right? This is a
Yeah.
well-known fact. So, in the
Yeah.
name of branding, if you are doing conceptual plagiarism, where
Hmm.
Reddit se utha ke post you have rewritten, they will
Hmm.
know these are not dumb people; these are smart people. So, while
Hmm.
you will have all the likes and comments in the world, and you'll have
Hmm.
all the social media cloud that you love and need, what you will not have is clients that pay you a lot of money and the clients
Yeah,
that give you
followers
agency.
is not proportional to the number, to the amount that is in your bank account.
Yeah, so be very careful, and I'll go candid here, right? Because honesty is one thing that I appreciate and I endorse wholeheartedly. I
Hmm.
don't get 30, 40 leads per month, unlike what a lot of people claim on the platform. Okay?
Yeah.
I hardly get 5 to 6 leads per month. Hardly.
Hmm.
But every one of this lead is something that is legitimate in the sense that it's a client that wants to work with you after looking at the kind of work that you have put out. And
Yeah.
by work, I don't mean advice about freelancing and writing. I mean actual writing that is showcased on the platform.
Yeah.
So essentially, that's it. Like, be careful whose branding advice you follow. And
Hmm.
to quote Uma here, good branding advice will not be free. Okay?
Yeah.
Branding is a it's a major massive industry. All the premier branding experts will charge you per hour for consultation and stuff like that. अगर
Yeah.
फ्री में आ रहा है तो वो एडवाइस इज नॉट लेजिटिमेट. Keep that in your head. And this is just an opinion on my part, but like
Hmm.
uh, I think it's a valid point that I
Yeah.
had to make. Anyway, go back to what you were talking about.
I was talking about what I was essentially trying to explain is not all this shit that you see going out there. People telling you that you need to retire by 30. It would be so amazing. You would get to spend so much time with your family. Think about it once. Think about how it fits in your life. Think about what you are going to go do with that time. I could retire tomorrow, but what will be my mental state after
Wow.
I retire? You know?
This is not relevant, but literally in my notes, one of the points is use your brain.
Yes. that
What you're
that's the
saying
biggest
makes sense.
part of, that is the part of being an entrepreneur. Again, going back to the same thing, it's not growth बहुत linear होता है. The work increases, you start hiring more people, and you start growing your revenue. But at the same time, you also forget that this lump sum will be divided by the number of people you have under you.
Hmm.
Just because you get to keep the major stake, you cannot just start hiring and outsourcing and doing those things. But what you can definitely do is increase the quality of um, your knowledge of marketing, your knowledge of how what should be a good reason for XYZ. Think about certain cause, like uh, all the well-renowned writers like Matt Haig. He talks so much about climate change, sustainability, things like that. There is Arundhati Roy, who is vocal about the political situation, feminism, social causes, all of that. There is uh, is that other person? There are quite a few other writers who have a dedicated cause that they want to contribute to, and that's why they keep talking about it. That is their specialization. You don't necessarily need to talk about writing because you are a writer. Use that power creatively to make a difference to the world.
Yeah.
Use your brain. I mean, happiness. What does happiness mean to you? Think about it. Think about the small mundane things that life has to, you've been taught since forever. Break those words down and understand what that means to you, because without understand what that means to you, what you're going to do is create more and more and more misconceptions and breed a level of writers who have not witnessed who have not witnessed the world, and they will feel that this is the only way to go about it. And
Yes.
the only reason we are doing this in the first place is we want to leave behind an army of writers who are well equipped to deal with such people.
Yeah.
uh, that's the concept of sustainability. That's, you leave something behind for your next generation.
Yeah.
What is the guarantee that I won't get up from this chair, I won't fall, and I will drop dead?
No
there's
guarantee.
there's, there's no, no one knows. So that's the reason we do what we do. This is the reason we are having this conversation face to face. If you know you can choose to get offended. You can choose to get offended, and the only person you're going to harm is yourself,
Exactly.
because otherwise there's no point. There's no point.
No point. There's no point.
Yeah. And
So,
again,
are you
coming
done
back
with
to the
your
title,
notes?
what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? So, are you done with your notes? Or is
Yes,
there more? You're done?
that's it.
Okay.
That's all.
So, now it's my notes. And my notes
Yeah.
tend to be nerdier. So, guys, I'm sorry. But it's my personality. I can't help it. Okay. I can't. Okay. Before I go into my notes, we have a comment from Uma. I agree, Binati, but I believe people should value if someone is trying to help you without expecting anything. I mean, blindly following only paid advice is also not good. I do believe knowledge doesn't come for free, and that's why we writers charge. Yes, 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 we
Yes.
believe the same. Essentially, blindly following anyone, that also includes us. Okay, that
Huh?
also includes us. Even if we are both friends, I will not blindly follow all
Yeah.
Sudeshna tells me. She will not blindly follow what I tell her, because that is it, right? Someone tells you something, you don't have to directly go, "Arey, I will do this." You have to go,
Mhm.
let me think. And this is a advanced announcement of sorts, but we have a great writer that I'm going to have on live with me
Mhm.
very soon. I can't pronounce her name either, but she's from Egypt, and she is going to teach us how to think. I'm legitimately not kidding, because learning how to think is one thing that is missing a lot from the narrative online. uh,
Yeah.
I feel, because we just see
And we're
either
doing it on Teachers' Day. We are announcing this on Teachers' Day. So she can
yeah,
be the greatest teacher for everyone. I mean, this is not just for writers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's going to teach us to think, in the sense she's an MPhil scholar.
Ooh.
Teach us how to think, and I think that's a skill, and that is part of a writer nowadays. So essentially, yeah, any kind of, coming to the point, blindly following anything, that is something I never endorse, paid or free. But yes, we should listen to and watch everything, which is one of my points, Uma, actually, which is learn about the world. And when I say learn about the world, learn everything, including all the bad stuff or the stuff that you don't like. Okay, so I'll come to my script now, which is going to begin, as I said, nerdily, with George Orwell. So George Orwell is one of those legendary writers who has been proven right so many times already with his dystopian fiction and stuff like that. And he wrote essays essentially,
Mm.
and his essays had these points about writing, and he broadly classified writing into four genres. Okay, and this is where I'll refer to the notes so I don't make a mistake. The first is sheer egoism, which is when you are trying to seem like a visionary, like Gary Vaynerchuk. That is, I mean, associating the word ego to his name is sort of controversial, but that is what his brand is. He is
Yeah.
a visionary who gives out visionary advice. Okay, so that
Mm.
is one form of writing or content creation. Second is aesthetic enthusiasm, where you are attempting to be artsy. So I think you could give an example of that because you have better artsy knowledge, Sudeshna. Who do you think could be an artsy writer?
Mitch Albom. His
Ah,
style of writing is modern fairy tales meet mundane situations.
that sounds
And
fascinating.
he has this book, it's called Five People You Meet in Heaven. It's
Mhm.
essentially a man who dies at 80, I believe, near a, pinwheel. What are those called? Giant wheels, or what are they called? You have those in
What
amusement parks.
Ferris wheels?
Ferris wheels. He legit dies operating a Ferris wheel, and on his
Oh,
way to heaven, he meets five people, and he realizes that he has actually died saving a young girl's life, and the cycle
okay,
sort of continues. Like,
okay,
someone plays that part in your life, you play that part in someone else's life.
okay.
When,
I'll
how,
definitely check
doesn't
this
matter.
book out. I'll
Absolutely.
check this book out for sure.
Yeah.
So when we talk about aesthetic enthusiasm, it's about creating something artistic. So, all these amazing writers
Hmm.
who deal with all these different genres. And I think this is one era which is dominated by fiction writers, writers
Yes.
who create fiction. They are
And please
trying
don't
to.
classify Rupi Kaur under this category.
Who?
Rupi Kaur,
Okay.
please don't
I
classify her in this category. Essentially,
Oh,
broken
I
words.
was shell shocked. Did you see my face? Because I thought you were putting the thing there, and I was like, "What happened? Who am I
No,
friends with?"
no,
Oh, sorry
no.
about that
See,
judgmental moment.
finding two, three words that just make sense together, it does not work like that. You have so much of free space, and even I think Lang Liao falls in the same category. And
Mm.
these books, they may contain art, they may or may not contain illustrations, but we are essentially creating a mole out of a mountain out of a molehill, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. You are, yeah, true. I again couldn't disagree even if I want to. Uh, anyway, then that is your aesthetic enthusiasm where you are trying to create content that
Mhm.
is artsy, that makes people, do that bookstagram thing, cuddle up into a cozy corner, going,
Yes,
maja aa gaya read karke. That
yes,
sort of
that right there. Yeah.
that feel. Then we have historical impulse. Now, this is the type of writing that I try to do, which is seeking truth. You try to look for an answer. So, this is your introspective fiction, non fiction,
Hmm.
blog pieces, which are opinion pieces or review pieces, stuff like
Even
that.
up to a certain extent, retrospective pieces, content would also fall in this category.
Definitely, yes, retrospective pieces as well. So this
Yes.
is that is historical impulse, and then lastly, according to Orwell, there is political purpose. Political purpose is when you are pushing forth, actively pushing forth an idea, as in you are using persuasive writing style or writing rhetoric, where you
Hmm.
are trying to convince your reader, okay, this is the thing, this is the
Hmm.
tea, or you have to do this, or
Which is
essentially all the
non-fiction, which is
sorry.
where non-fiction has ended up. Mark
Oh my
Manson,
god.
James Clear, all of these popular writers are at that stage. They are pushing
Yeah,
this agenda, like
yeah.
the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I am not going to even try. So,
Yeah. Oh my God, that's one of the worst book in the self-help genres that exists, and everyone loves that book because it has fuck on the cover, which is unbelievable how where we have reached as a society. But
and
yeah,
also another reason, it just follows on that track itself because it mentions Bukowski. Bukowski's work essentially, you know, it is on that verge of collapse, right? Alcohol,
breaking down.
addiction, everything.
Dude, even
It's that
Stephen
chaos.
King. Have you read his book on writing? This is what he tells the story of his life. It's tragic.
Yes.
It really is tragic. and then he draws from that and creates the kind of work that
Hmm.
scares the living daylights out of you, right?
Yeah.
And does it so well. So that is what historical sorry, that is what political purpose, not
Hmm.
Stephen King, but political purpose writing is, which is they are trying to convince you of something. They are not giving you ideas, they are trying to convince you that their idea is the right idea.
Yeah,
So
and one very good piece of introspective and retrospective writing would be Yuva Harari.
Yuval Noah Harari.
Harari, yes. He does it pretty well. Even Trevor Noah does it pretty well. I haven't heard of his how to his
Between the scenes on of his TV show has some of the best non-scripted video content I've seen from game no from these interview host type people.
hmm,
And his book itself, his book has some great points. Born a Crime. Uh,
yeah.
to think that somebody this young has come
Hmm,
up with insights, original insights of this sort, and drawn from their technically tragic life. So this is where I'll make another point, which is I think
hmm,
writing is autobiographical, whether we like to admit it or not. We superimpose who we are as people and our journey as a person. So that is that would be a segue into my next point, which is learn about the freaking world, right? Don't have as a chota sa corner. And this advice probably sounds hypocritical coming from me, who is sitting in my house and someone who doesn't travel a lot. But the world has become this amazingly accessible place online. You can
yes.
find everybody anywhere these days.
Yeah.
Okay, so many platforms, so many mediums of communication, so many
Hmm,
methods. So you can't even make that excuse that I am shy and stuff like that. No, uh,
hmm,
if you want to learn about the world, you can just go to
hmm.
all these different platforms and just start talking to people. And once
Yeah.
once you do that, you start having experiences. Once you start having experiences in your
Hmm,
work, you can draw from those experiences. So I'm not even kidding. For the piece I did on Kashmir and for the piece I did on Hong Kong, I had sources who were stuck in those places during these awful times. And when
yeah.
you talk to them,
Hmm,
you literally feel the kind of chasm between what is being reported and what was actually happening on the ground. So you
hmm.
don't necessarily have to go to these places to know the world, but
Yeah.
you have to know the world if you are planning to write on these topics, right?
And there's
Otherwise,
someone always out there on the internet who has stories to tell but cannot.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So moving to my next point, which is have an ability to think, have an ability to think, think critically. That is the key point. So don't always externalize things. Kind of thoda internalize also. So I think this is something that social media has brought out in people, which is we lump everything in terms of blame on other people. We
Hmm.
don't take accountability for our own failings or for things that we lack as people.
Yeah.
So having self-worth, okay, you have to have self-worth. But
Hmm.
every time if you are blaming somebody else, if you are looking out and saying they give me bad advice because blah blah blah, or they criticized my work because blah blah blah, or the client rejected my work because blah blah blah, and blame them, that is not going to work out for you in the long run,
Exactly.
because you're completely eliminating improvement aspect of things from your professional life. And
Yeah,
the
you first have
arts.
to hear the criticism that is being offered to you. Then you can decide whether it's destructive or constructive.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
cannot judge based on what just because your ego is hurt. And having an ego in the first place during the initial years is what is going to kill your creativity and kill your instincts altogether.
yeah, yeah. Couldn't say no to that. So the arts, writing is part of the arts. The arts is one field that is widely left to interpretation, because unlike science, I mean, these days people have opinions about science, and that is something that I hate. But we'll talk about that some other day. But science gives you definitive answers. You know, it will tell you yes, yeah, no, and no is
Mhm.
also an answer. कि ये नहीं हो सकता. You know,
Yeah,
so science will give you answers, but the arts, writing, it doesn't give you answers. It gives you thought fodder. कि
yeah,
ऐसा भी हो सकता है, और this is the thing, what is my thing, or my contribution to this and stuff like that. So think critically and thoda sa think intrinsically. Like, don't just project everything out on other people, and don't just blame everyone around you, because that is going to hurt you and you alone. Like, you're the only person who's going to get hurt by that. You will remove chances of improvement and everything. So there's that. Then please do not rewrite. If you rewrite content, what you are essentially doing is you are making your content unsafe for the future, because algorithms are becoming smarter with every single day. There is going to be a point in time. I cannot tell you how I know this, but I do, based on a company I work with. They know, okay, they can pick out how many articles the rewritten article has been sourced out of. And at some point, that is going to become a product, and that is going to be sold, and clients are going to purchase that. And then your reputation will be shot to hell. So make your content future proof. As I heard on, I think, Ruthie Burls, a content creator I got in contact with via LinkedIn. She mentioned this on her Defy the Status Quo podcast, I think, that make your content future proof.
yeah,
She was talking about SEO. I am talking about content as well. Because if you
yeah.
create original content, as Sudeshna mentioned, it will always be there to answer someone's question. Okay,
It's
it
going
is
to be
not
the
going to be.
original piece of information that is going to inspire other people.
Yeah, it is
Sorry
going
for
to.
interrupting you.
Are no,
Yeah.
no, please go ahead. This is how we talk to each other.
So
Literally how we
yeah,
talk to each other.
this originality is a part of your, your experience. Whoever says that experience based content is dead clearly does not understand how machine learning works.
Yeah.
Algorithms don't necessarily change, but it's a machine. It's acting based on various parameters, and the more, by the second that you spend on the internet, you're giving it more and more data. And when you get that amount of data, you will keep improving yourself. This is not something that is controlled by one human or a set of humans. This is the
Yep.
machine that is evolving itself. So
Yep.
please do keep that in mind, and then frame your perspectives and approaches accordingly.
Yeah. Exactly. So write, don't rewrite. Okay, that was the point. Then there is research, sources, and viewpoints. You can't just have sources. You can't just have viewpoints. It has to be a mixture of both. If you want your work to truly be universal and truly be a piece of information that adds value always. And as I said, learn about the world. And
Yeah.
then lastly, not lastly, but lastly in this point, use your brain. So we've already talked about that, so won't really expand on that. Then the third part, this is where you'll have a lot to say, I'm sure, which is uh, create a diverse community. I think we have touched on this, yeah?
Yes.
Create diverse communities.
Interact with graphic designers, interact with consultants. There is this huge rift, copywriters versus designers. It's not versus anyone. You are working collectively towards one end goal. They both need to complement each other. Don't fight on it, don't make a fuss about it. The only thing you'd be prioritizing is your ego. And
Yeah.
an ego for an artist, it's
Yeah,
it's not a good thing.
that's the death nail. Literally the death nail.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah. And interact with everyone, talk to SEO specialists, ask them questions like why this keyword and why not that keyword.
Hmm.
Ask
Yeah.
questions to digital marketers. Why are you going for this particular channel and not that particular channel for distribution of your content? Ask CEOs, what is your vision? Why do you want me to do this for you? Ask HRs, why, what made my profile stand out to you? Asking questions is not a problem, but
Yeah.
asking them politely, asking them at the appropriate time, it it makes so much sense. Like, I legit ask people who follow me on Instagram or on LinkedIn. Some of them I end up asking them, you know, how did you find my profile in the first place? And they tell me that, you showed up here, I read this particular post, and that's how I learned that this is what is working with my audience and this is what I need to work on.
Yeah.
And that is the importance of a diverse community.
Yeah. So, yay on diverse communities and no on engagement pods. I agree, I don't agree. ये धंधा बंद कर दो. Open to connect, please. That doesn't matter. See, as we mentioned previously, follower counts, likes. LinkedIn doesn't have an influencer program. You won't get paid for having likes and comments. So
Yep.
why bother? Why waste time and resources into that? Instead, create communities that matter to you. So with the Fictember challenge that randomly began based on some random post I did. It was a bunch of non-fiction writers who wanted to try their hand at fiction writing. These are people. Most of them, I think there are 36 people in the group, and only
Wow.
17 are in my network. So all the others,
Hmm.
exactly. So create a community that works for you, and not always a community that agrees with you, because if you find people who are going, I agree, I agree, I agree, I agree, you will create
Yeah.
a bubble, and bubbles are not good. Bubbles are not good at all, because what bubbles do is they prevent you from thinking more. If someone confronts your thought process, you go,
Hmm.
why did this person say this? And then you think more, and then you either
Yeah.
realize, oh, I was wrong, or you further have proved that your thought process had merit,
Hmm.
and you get
Yeah.
better clarity on whatever you thought in the first place. So create diverse communities instead of engagement pods. Okay.
Again, clarity is something that you would not have in the first place. When you're starting out, you would have no clarity. I'm sure when Binati started out, she didn't know, how to go about things. I didn't know how to go about things. We figured it along the way. You can always mold the how, or the number of steps that you want to take, and how you want to tailor the next milestone. But what you cannot actually, stop thinking about is, why am I doing this, or what do I want to get out of this? And always, when it comes down to these engagement pods, it's give and take. But sometimes it becomes give,
Yeah.
and give. But what you actually want in real life is give, and rightfully ask for something.
Yes. So that could be a point, right? Don't be afraid of asking people things.
Yes. And ask politely, say things nicely, and they would be more than happy to help you out. Who wouldn't want to help someone improve their particular like, if you wanted a feedback, like, I remember going up to you several times, dude, read this and this does not match up, why does this not match up, why do you think that? And you've happily answered that for me. I remember, I have also reached out to Anisha Di for a number of these things, like, this is not sitting well with the vibe, why do you think that's happening? And but just don't go and say, like, give me your secrets, tell me
Yeah.
how to write. Don't give ask us
No
vague
one is
questions.
going to answer that question for you ever, because that question kind of implies that the skills a person has, that is based on some secret and not hard work, and that
Yes.
pisses people off on the spot when you
Yeah.
imply that their career is because they have some secret, and not
Yeah.
because they put in the hard work and the time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Moving to the next point, communities are where you talk to people who critically appreciate your work and teach you. Already covered. Cannot stress enough diversity. Have diversity. Don't just talk to the same kind of people. Talk to people you disagree with. Actually, you
Hmm.
learn more from people you disagree with.
Yeah.
And very quick example of that, uh, I have a left leaning bias. Okay, but I was hardcore left liberal
Hmm.
way back when. And
Hmm.
that changed when I took up a client who wanted me to write a particularly conservative book, like a book that was based on some sort of a conservative manifesto. And
Hmm.
I had to pick up George Will's Conservative Manifesto and go
Hmm.
through the whole thing. And when I read what the right represents in terms of
Hmm.
ideas and thought processes, I realized how stupid I was being as going blindly left. I
Yeah.
was hurting myself and I was preventing mm, my own work from having that clarity, having that roundabout perspective.
Hmm.
So, diversity. Talk to people you agree with, talk to people you disagree with more. That is where,
Yeah.
that is where you get the good stuff. या तो knowledge मिलेगा या तो clarity मिलेगी.
Yeah.
Both are good. So yeah, then we have last point, which is already made, but earn money. Don't forget to express yourself and strike a balance. That's it. I'm done. My notes are done.
And the last one was the big, the most important one out of them all. If
Mm.
you forget where you come from, where your roots lie, if you forget where you started out, and you don't look back once in a while, like I have a legit folder of invoices that have never been cleared. I tend to look back on those. I look back and tell myself, this is where you came from, this is how far you have come. And
Yeah.
if you quit now, if you stop now, there is no way you can go ahead and, make something out of yourself. You're actually disrespecting all the people who have come before this, who have supported you. And that's not a nice thing to do to anyone. Forget yourself, I mean anyone.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't disagree even if I want to. But yeah, fabulous, fabulous. So to the two people that are still on with us, do you have any questions? Two people who are still on the live with us. Any questions? This is such a funny thing to say, but yeah, keeping it real here.
Yes.
I don't think we have questions. So we were going to do this for an hour. Oh, there's a lag. Hold on, hold on. There's a
All
lag.
right. So someone is typing.
No, no. I opened LinkedIn and you are still speaking on LinkedIn even when you are not speaking here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, gonna wait till the question gets broadcasted in the first place.
Chumki says nope.
Nope. There's no
Nope.
question. Okay. So now we were going to do this for an hour and we did it
Yep.
for 1 hour, 38
I
minutes and
actually
21
we
seconds.
made it in 1.5 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes, only because we stuck to the script. Had it been outside the script,
Oh my
things would
god,
have
this would have
been
been so
super different.
you guys would have at some point literally gone, you know,
Like
kya kar
this.
rahe hain? Matlab, what are they talking about? Like, how did they reach from here to here? Like,
Remember
let's talk about
Instagram,
that.
you and Anisha, you guys were talking for like 3 hours.
Yes, we did that.
3 hours.
We were going to do one Instagram live, and it turned into three Instagram lives very quickly, where we talked about all sorts of things, particularly dealing with thought processes and such.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's amazing. So
Yes.
thank you guys for joining us on the live. Now there is nobody who's live with us according to the app. So no, there's two that are live with us. So I think I'll be ending the broadcast now.
Yep.
We'll have two people that I have lined up already. We have Rashmi, who's going to come in and do fiction writing with us. I mean, where I will just sit and go make pussy cow. Uh, then we're gonna have Nada or Nada. I don't really know how to pronounce it because, as I said, the name is Egyptian. Don't
Hmm.
really speak Middle Eastern languages, so to speak. So first thing I'll
I
learn is
think
how
it
to
would be
pronounce
Nadia. I think it's Nadia, right?
Nada. Just that.
I think it would be Nad. That doesn't
I
sound right.
I have no clue. So rather than being
So
culturally
please,
inappropriate,
when you have her on board, please ask her to pronounce her name so that we can refer to her correctly. Because I
exactly.
have a feeling we are going to quote her a lot.
Oh my God, yes. Because literally, lady goes to answer the question, goes, let me think about it. And I'm like, this is after so many years, I find a person who says, let me think about it before answering a question, which is the
Yes.
which is the mark of a great person in general.
Yep.
So we have these two people queued in already. Let's see
Hmm.
what comes in next. So yeah, bye bye. See you guys soon in the next one. Thank you so much for coming
Bye.
and hope you'll come again.